Hello and welcome back to the Backyard Homesteader. Today is the final video in the series from Jessica's book, The First Time Homesteader. And today we're talking about your homestead garden. Don't go away. Okay, so I am so excited. When you watch this video, I'm probably already in South Carolina. Just saying that gets me so stinking excited. So it's early in the morning. I have to get this video recorded so that I can get it out to you in time. So it's done before I leave and scheduled and all that good stuff. But today, I know I said the last one was probably my most favorite, but my heart is really in the homestead garden because that's how I homestead, guys. That's me. And so it's completely got my heart. It's what got me into homesteading at all. May of 2020, I decided I needed a garden. I have issues with vitamin D in my system, and it's usually very low. You know, COVID, that C word. You know, we all were part of a pandemic, and I already worked remotely, so I wasn't getting enough sun, and so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna do a garden. Plus, not to mention, our food sourcing is horrible, but that was my initial journey into homesteading. And you know, it's so fun to look back to where I started and to where I am today. And I just love sharing my journey with all of you, and I hope that you do the same with me. I want to see your journey. So if you're not sharing it yet, please do. You see our little Ritzy Roo back there. She's such a little garden helper. I've called her the guardian dog, and she so is. I hope you enjoy her, and I hope you enjoy this video. Remember, I already have a book, a brand new book, ready for Jessica to autograph to you personally, and I'll even get her on video talking to you directly. So get your book, purchase it down below with my link, or just in the comments, give me a question that you would love to get answered by Jessica while I'm there. Okay, so here we go. Let's get this going. I gotta hurry. Lots to do before we leave. Okay, so in this amazing book, not the Backyard Homesteader, that's me. The First Time Homesteader just really, you know, she just has a way with words, does she not? And she talks about the homestead garden. And like I said, that's my heart. So one of the first things that you need to consider is where you're planting, and you know, what kind of sunlight does that area get? Does it get full sun? I have done a lot of testing, and you know, you're gonna find, if you don't already have a garden, you will find that it takes time to master where things grow the best, and you don't always know. For instance, my pepperoncinis, where they're at this year, they are thriving. This one plant in this one area is perfect for them, and that's exciting. It's so exciting, but that's the key in finding the correct spot for every plant that you're growing. So do you get direct sun? Is it direct sun all day? Is it a little in the morning, more in the afternoon? You just need to really take a look at what that area provides for your plant. Now, prior to all of this, everything just went in one spot, and it was all on the back wall, and it was like not even a quarter of what I'm doing now. It was very small, but it was my beginning. Everybody starts somewhere. You know, you don't start with a lot of plants. You start small, and you know, you really start to enjoy. I started seed starting, which I'll get to that. I had to dial myself back. So take a look at your garden, see where the sun is, you know, really be intentional and take a look at your yard or your patio or wherever you're growing and see how the day transitions. Where do you get the most sun? Where do you get the least sun? You know, is it partial sun? Is it mostly just, you know, shaded area? There's a plant to grow in every area that you have. So just take a look at that and make sure you experiment. Absolutely experiment. But then when you experiment and then you take notes, I have a journal that I made. It's for the fall winter garden. I'll put the link down below. It's kind of late for this year's growing, but I'll have another one here soon. Probably, hopefully by the middle of next month, November. Maybe the third week in November. I'll have the one for the spring, summer. You want to take notes? You've got to take notes. You can't remember everything. You just won't remember everything, you know. So as you come across these new tidbits for your own yard, your own garden, write them down, because you're not going to remember, and that's great knowledge. You need to remember from your experiences, testing things out. Get it down on paper to where you can reflect back onto it for the following season. And that's how you're going to master your own backyard, your own homestead garden, is by just testing things out where they like to be. And that's it. Everybody's circumstances are different, so nobody can help you with that. You've got to figure that one out on your own. Okay. Let's see. Yep. So I talked about full sun and partial sun. I'm just looking at my notes. Drainage. So I am the queen of the 5-gallon bucket, and so I container grow predominantly. I also have gophers, so you know, trying to put anything in the ground, if the gopher likes it, it's gone. So container gardening is very different than if you had your own soil that you were working in. So I can only speak from my experience, and that's in the backyard and in containers. I will tell you that it's a work in progress, and I continually am getting better and better on providing the best soil for my plants. And so you're going to want to subscribe. If you are somebody that is going to be container gardening or in the backyard, you need to subscribe and hit those notification bell, because as I perfect, I'm sharing with you. And so I think I've come up, and this is how I found out, guys. I was at a Tractor Supply vendor show. I was a vendor, and there was a ton of other people there from my area, and this one gal gave me her little secret on what she uses, because I always ask the question, what do you use to amend your soil? Because you know, it's also specific to your area what may work better than others. Okay, so you'll want to stick around for that. Okay, so the next thing you need to think about is perennials versus annuals. So perennials, they come back and back and back, right? So for instance, my artichokes, I have 2 artichoke plants. One of them I lost, and I still have the other one, and it's thriving, and my brand new one is thriving. So I have them in the 2 corners of my garden, and they are very happy there, and I'm happy that they're happy. But you need to keep in mind that these are plants that will continue to come back every year. Asparagus is another perennial garden that you need to think about, because it's not going to move. Those are in their own specific pots. They're larger, nicer pots. They're not in the 5-gallon buckets, but I know that they're going to come back year after year after year, right? So they're not just a one-trick pony. Your annuals, you know, your annuals are everything that you grow in the season. So right now, the kales, the cabbages, all the brassicas, root vegetables, those are like really many types. But lettuce, I tried growing lettuce this summer. You know, like Jess always says, she tries something. She doesn't just let somebody tell her that won't work. She tries it out. I've been, you know, living by her advice, and I try things out. And Growing lettuce in the summer here just does not work, even in the shade. So I have my lettuce garden in my garden stock in the fall. It's right over there in the corner, and that's the way I will grow lettuce. It's sad. I would rather have salads in the summer, but it's just not in the cards for us here. Not unless I had a climate-controlled greenhouse. If I had a climate-controlled greenhouse, I could probably grow lettuce, but it would be very expensive lettuce. So I just have to learn to eat seasonally. We all do. It's just not something we're used to. But those are all the things that you want to think about, and to keep costs down, because once you start growing, you're going to grow more and more. So whenever I first started, my first year, May of 2020, that summer, I bought all of my seedlings from a nursery, a local nursery here. They grew their own seedlings, but it's a lot more expensive. I could never have the garden I have right now if I wasn't starting my own seeds. So you're gonna want to learn how to do that. It's fun. I can't tell you how exciting it is to start your own seeds, see how quickly they grow, master it. I've got in my closet, in my office here at the house, I have a shelf and I have grow lights, and I grow my own little seedlings, and I love it. It's just the coolest thing ever, you know? I just can't explain it. You got to go through it. And, check out, I'll see if I have a video I can put in here, because I'm constantly sharing my seedlings and how I grow, because I just love it so much. It's really a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it saves you a ton of money, and you just can't get that experience anywhere else. Planting something that somebody else has started from seed just isn't the same. The feeling's not the same as growing your own little seed and watching it grow. There's just nothing like it. So I think that's it. I'm keeping this short. I mean, this is what I do. This is how I have become a homesteader, and I'm learning again in the backyard. When you homestead in your backyard, it has its own little nuances, right? So you don't have these huge harvests, and I know I've mentioned this on one of our other videos, but it's worth mentioning again because it's so very important. We have smaller crops. We just do in our backyards. If you're growing in containers, you're going to have smaller harvests. You're not going to have a huge harvest, and you need to learn how to properly take that small crop and keep it from spoiling before you can, or however you use it, because I do get more than what I could possibly use. I say that, and yet something that's been a challenge for me is okra. Okra grows so fast, but I only have so many plants, so it's not even enough to make a meal. So that I'm still perfecting, I will admit. However, I think it would be really easy to freeze okra, even by harvesting just a few at a time. But you have to be on it, and when it's ready, because the next day it could be too big and woody, and then you can't eat it. So I don't get rid of them. I don't throw them away. I always save them, and I save them for seeds. So I have enough okra seeds probably to last me a lifetime, or I'm happy to share them. If anybody needs okra seeds, just let me know. I'm happy to share. But I love okra, but I'm still perfecting that. I am. And the pepperoncinis, this year was the first year I grew them, and I'm gonna pickle them. And I have enough right now on my plants that I could probably make a jar. I got a jar for my sister last night, and I gotta get that done before I leave. I don't know how I'm gonna get it all done. I don't know, but I'm gonna try, because it's very important to me. I'm growing something that I love. I love pepperoncinis. I really do. I'm not a spicy, hot pepper person, but I love pepperoncinis. I just love them. And so I'm growing my own. Do you see how cool that is? And that's another very important message I leave with you. Whatever you grow things that you love, and grow things that you wouldn't necessarily be able to go down to the market and buy. So different varieties. You will find out, it's so crazy, you will find out that what you eat in the market is very generic. There are some amazing varieties of seeds out there for any types of plants. I grow a ton of tomatoes. That's my primary crop, I will admit. I love tomatoes. I absolutely love them. It was a tough year on tomatoes this year, and yet I still have some tomatoes on my vines. It's almost time for them to all come out, but just not quite yet. A few of them have come out already, but some of them are thriving, and so I'm going to let them go until they just are not giving me any fruit anymore, or I must use the bucket that they're in. But that's doubtful. I would just as soon put something in a 5-gallon bucket than to get rid of a tomato plant that's producing for me. It's just me. But again, we have small harvests. We don't have huge harvests. So yeah, it's all different, isn't it? And what's important to me, the crops that are important to me, aren't necessarily the crops that will be important to you. So you just have to test it out. It's so much fun. Homestead gardening, there's nothing like it. I will admit, after the summer, I am ready for a little bit of a break. So now I don't have to water every single day because we're in the fall. Like overnight, we're in the fall. So I can water one day, and I don't have to water for another 2 or 3 days, depending. You know, like for instance, this week coming up, we're supposed to have rain on Wednesday. And so, you know, which is good because I'm going to be gone. Like I'm leaving the very next day. So I will water. I'm not watering today because I watered yesterday. So I'll probably water on Monday or Tuesday, and then the rain comes, and hopefully that will be enough so they won't need to be watered again until I come home. Because I'll admit, my husband, bless his heart, he does whatever I ask him to do, but he's not really good at watering. So that's pretty exciting actually, because I think that my little brand new fall garden that's going to be struggling anyway is going to be just fine while I'm gone. All right, guys, I think I've said enough. I will attempt to take a few shots out in the garden just to explain a few things of where things are and why and how that's worked for me. But yeah, remember, let me know down below. Do you have any questions for Jess? I want to ask them for you. So come along. I'm going to take a ton of video while I'm there and just share as much as I can of the experience, from being a viewer of Jess's to actually being able to be on her land and see it, you know, in person. I just can't, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And so I'm going to have as much footage on that as I possibly can to not only share with you, but also to remember this once in a lifetime opportunity that my sister Jen has, you know, gifted me with in order to just see this. It's, yeah. Can you tell I'm a little excited? All right, guys. Peace. Until next time. Bye now.